What is up, everyone? B.O.B. here, back with another episode from the Dynasty SMP. And the first order of business today is, well, I gotta do something with this guy down here. I was approved for my one extra villager for my raid farm, so I must build my raid farm and get rid of that dimwit. The one thing that's kind of holding me back on the raid farm is I need another trident for another trident killer. I don't have any more. But I think I'm gonna maybe set up, I don't know, some hunting grounds. I don't really want to build a farm, but let me get up in the air here. If I maybe set up a conduit over here, I can just kind of swim around, and I bet you I'd get one pretty quick. And just stopping in here at the Prismarine HQ, this is where I've gotten my sea lantern so far. Well, I want some other Prismarine bricks. I don't know who owns this shop. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But there are 2 diamonds a stack. Luckily, I don't need a whole lot just to set up a conduit. I'm gonna just work in some sea lanterns, which I've already purchased, so that should be more than enough. And while I'm in the shopping district, I decided to stop by the post office, and it looks like I've got mail. Let's see what I got. Honeycombs, just a little gift from the bee who washes your vid. What? I'm not sure who that would be, but thank you. I could use that wax. I'm actually gonna start some bee farming myself here very, very soon. But I want to get this raid farm done first. And yeah, I guess I'm going to stop here at Clarky's Golden Carrots to pick up some groceries. I'm on my last stack. And I'm also running pretty low on diamonds, so might have to do some mining soon. And never mind the fact that I'm almost dead. I set up the conduit, swam around, killed like 2-3 drowned. Got a trident. Bedrock's great for that sort of thing. I might actually kill a few more and try and just get an extra trident, but I'm gonna wait until I heal back up first. And I'm back here at my starter base, gathering up some snow blocks. You know, I didn't intend to use as many as I'm using when I built this farm. I actually just built it for this location, but the block just fits so well with my theme, and I think I'm gonna probably use it a lot. I want to keep going with smooth, bright textures. So there is definitely an industrial version of this farm in my near future. Alright, well, I'm getting started on the raid farm here, and I thought I'd take a minute to talk about automatic trident killers. With something like a raid farm, you don't want the trident killer to be running constantly because raid parties can literally spawn on the extended head of a piston. And believe me, you do not want ravagers spawning inside of your trident killer. It sounds like it would be fine, but believe me, it's not. So what you want to do is set up a tripwire system, sort of like this here. So if we look at the outside of my trident killer, I got a dropper, an observer watching that dropper, powering a solid block, powering another dropper, and then we have our pistons on top of those solid blocks. All 4 sides of the trident killer look the same, but what we have is string and tripwire hooks to power a redstone torch to turn that trident killer on and off. So when I stand inside of these tripwires, you can see that turns on the trident killer, and that will happen with any of the pillagers that fall down into this trident killer. So in short, there is no reason you have to turn it on and off. All you gotta do is hang out at your trident killer and it will work as soon as mobs fall into it. And raid farm complete. Now, the hardest part of this was moving that villager. I didn't have enough powered rails to get all the way up here, so I had to like build a partial track and then, well, move the track and then get them the rest of the way up. But I'm just about ready to give it its trial run here. All right, hopefully spacing of everything is correct. We got our trident in there. Let's see if this works. I don't hear any raid horns. Got a villager right there. What'd I do? Okay, I didn't do anything. The raid is starting. Everything is spaced out correctly. This should work just fine. Let's see some mobs drop. I guess it just takes a while for that to kick in. Ooh, that guy's burning. Okay, well, that should be alright. It should be alright. They're not supposed to hit the lava. I put it up high enough that the pillagers should be able to slip under it, but the ravagers get killed off by it. They might be going a little bit high, but it's alright. I'm still getting the drops. Alright, I'm gonna sit through this raid. So yeah, that's all working. Now, you know, with these things, you can't really build with much depth. You can't have any blocks that aren't covered with leaves or scaffolding. So, you know, I just kind of built into the walls a little bit to add some detail, try and bring my theme up to the building. I don't know. It's doesn't look bad. It's interesting. I feel like I could maybe do more details, maybe with some signs or something, signs and buttons. I don't know. But this works. This works. We have a raid farm officially. And yeah, I sat through like 2 raids. We got a bunch of goodies. I see with like the witch buff, we're getting a lot more redstone dust from these farms. So that's kind of cool. I shouldn't have much problems with that anymore. I could just sit through some raids and get some dust. Plus I got my clerics down there to buy more from. But yeah, we filled up a double chest and then some in just 2 raids. So this is good. Got to upgrade this storage system definitely. But I'm not going to do that right now because right now I want to direct my attention to that bee farm I was talking about. But before I get started on that, I realized I still need to pay for that extra villager that I have, which leaves me with 3 diamonds. Oh, I got 1 block of ore. Yeah, I'm more than likely going to have to do some mining soon. And I'm not sure if I leave the payment in here or in here. Shop plots. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it in the shop plots one because there's already a diamond block in there. I did label it for Bees Extra Villager, so admin knows what that diamond block is for, and my debts are paid. And on to the bee farm, and well, I should really say bee farms because I'm going to be building a couple of different modules for depending on what I'm actually farming from that particular hive or nest. See, anybody who's ever farmed like honeycombs or honey bottles, you know that every once in a while things pop up on top of the farm instead of falling down into your hoppers. So what I've done is come up with a design where that doesn't happen. For honeycombs here, we have our shears and our dispenser. If they do pop up, they'll pop up to the side because it won't go through the whole block. It'll try and go to the side first. And what I have here is mud blocks on top of hoppers. So anything that does pop up above, rather than fall down like it's supposed to, is still going to fall into the hoppers and end up in this collection system here. Now with bottles, you don't have to go through all that, but what I did instead was put an item filter underneath for the full honey bottles. We can put empty bottles in the dispenser, and then whenever they turn into full bottles, they'll automatically be filtered out. So the empty bottles will stay in there, full will not, and I don't have to come up with like hundreds of glass bottles to keep the thing stocked. It'll just always work. Of course, this one's empty because it's just a prototype. Alright, now I got all the redstone parts of these farms put into place. I still have to build it, you know, like sort of enclosures and, well, put the bee's nests in there. But I wanted to take a second to talk about these modules. One thing that I did, in order to power, like, the dispensers that are going to shear and or use bottles on the droppers, or on the bee's nest, I'm using observers on the face of sticky pistons to power these. And the reason I did this is because every now and again, well, bee farms, they tend to lock up. If you, like, leave the loaded chunks while the redstone dust is lit, then it won't necessarily harvest, but that redstone dust will just stay lit forever, and the dispenser never actually works. So my plan here is, if I'm using an observer to power that, even if that redstone line locks up, well, observers have a bit of a bug where every now and again, whenever you load chunks, they just fire off for no reason. So this kind of gonna act as a bit of a fail-safe, and I did this on both farms. I'm using observers to power those dispensers. So if those redstone lines do kind of get locked on, hopefully, well, we'll experience some some chunk loading errors with the observers, and they will go ahead and power those dispensers for us anyways, thus clearing up that redstone line, because we're using comparators from the bee's nest to send that redstone signal. So, I mean, this is a theoretical failsafe, but I think it's a pretty decent failsafe. But yeah, as I said, I gotta build some enclosures here. It's gonna be kind of like one big building, sort of. I think I got something in my mind, but I'm not sure I can make it a reality. And well, materials are gonna be a problem, but I'll see what I can do. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the honey hangers. Okay, now on the left side here, we are farming honey bottles. It will probably not be as fast as the combs. Well, we got like one in each. I've been hanging out here for just a few minutes, so I mean, they're farming. And then with the combs, I got everything running into one chest here, so I only have to check the one. The reason why I divvied up the bottles is so that way I can restock. See, if I look up, I can restock the dispensers with, oop, that's my filters. I can restock the dispensers with empty bottles whenever they're down here. So, you know, I can craft them up, put them right up here. I'm gonna close these in, but I want to close them in, like I want to close this one in with honey blocks, and then that one in with the honeycomb blocks, I think. But I gotta get those respective blocks anyways. So that way, you know, it'll be all decorative on the outside. I might add more detail over time. I don't know. But for now, it sort of fits the theme. It's bright colored. It also fits the theme of what is being farmed here, so that's kind of cool. We can take a look inside here. Now, these are very efficient farms, but they're not as efficient as they could be, and the reason why is because you see how far these guys are going to get to their flowers? They don't have to. I could have put it right in front, but the reason I did this the way that I did it is because this isn't going to be my main bee farm. This is sort of a breeder starter farm. I'm going to build a bigger bee farm in the nether, but for now, this is what's going to get me started. I need a bunch of hives, and I can breed off of these bees here, but also farm them as well. So, like, these are lossless farms. They should never lock up, and it'll actually produce quite a bit. But I'm thinking, like, in the nether, do, like, I don't know, 10 of each instead of 4 of each. That could produce quite a bit. And keep in mind, I do plan on opening up a honey shop, all bee supplies, really, all like everything, honey blocks, honeycomb blocks, honeycombs, honey bottles, everything that bees produce. I want to be able to sell in a one-stop shop. Now, you can already buy like the bottles and combs in the shopping district, and I plan on just matching their prices. So, you know, it's a competitive business, but we'll do it fairly. I'm not trying to undercut anybody or take anybody out, just want like more opportunities for that. And this was something I was planning on selling from the beginning of the season. So yeah, I thought I'd finally kind of play in on the name the fact that I got bee in the name, and bees. Anyway, I'm loving the honey hangers. I'm loving them. Like, it was kind of built on a whim. I struggled creatively with how to make them look decent, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. Like I said, I might add some more details. I might add, like, some, like, acacia signs or buttons over time. Definitely the bottoms are going to get filled in with those respective blocks, and you can see they're not exactly symmetrical, but I'm okay with that. I really didn't want them to be symmetrical. And so, with those 2 big projects complete, I think I'm going to call this an episode here. Well, I mean, they're not huge projects, but rather big, intricate steps in my plan here. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna call it an episode here. And you guys know, if you're interested in checking out any other Dynasty members, you can find links to the community Discord in the description of this video, as well as links to the BOB Discord, where there is a channel for all the other Dynasty members. So there's all those links over there as well. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're new. And I want to thank everybody for watching. And well, I wish you all a wonderful day.